Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me here. I We are in such turbulent times that there's no way I can be silent, as very few people can be silent right here. I um I am so grateful. Please pardon anything. I think we have to pardon each other these days because we have to work from home. Um, so I don't know how you're feeling, but I'm feeling like I'm so full that I have to say something, and I have to say it to the right people. So as I move forward, I don't have my staff who whom I had hired and because of the pandemic and the outrage, and that's okay. I'm reminded of Gideon in the Bible, who thought he had like thousands of men with him to go fight a crucial battle, and God reduced it down to 300 men. And I'm like wondering, what did he think? Because I almost felt that way. I was ready to go to all of these Barnes and Nobles and have all these book signings, and and then the pandemic and no Barnes and Nobles. Things change, in other words. So I'm here doing this sharing of what I see without the technology assistance I would like to have now. So, in other words, excuse all bugs. Okay? What I want to talk to you about today is what I see as a psychologist, almost one. I have 67 more hours before I have a doctorate in forensic psychology, and I plan to search forensically for tools and solutions to this havoc that our world has come into, or probably been into. So today I want to share with you what I see and why these things have escalated so bad, and why, if we don't be careful, we may let huge and incredible enemies much closer to us than we want. And so, therefore, as a citizen, as a person with a voice also, as a person with a vote also, I have decided to share my thoughts as I move along. I will always record them, and when they are fit, or when they will fit a matter, I will pass them on to presidents, governors, mayors, um, other others of our employees. So, as I move forward, I wanted to just kind of give you an overview of how I'm going to address this. I will show you like 7 different things of many that I see that are going on that to me brings about all that's happened. We were being so careful in America on being safe from the pandemic, and then the outrage came, and it was amazing how we had to forget all of that, and distancing was gone. And I'm concerned, and I think we all are, that we're not endangering ourselves that way even more, and that America won't come down with a pandemic that we can't heal or can't be safe from. And so, therefore, as a citizen, as a person who has a right to add my voice to the onslaught of voices, and so that's how I will address it. I will show you 7 ways that I think all of this is being escalated and impacted, and then 7 solutions, as I did in my book. I think that it will fare us all to look at that book and chapter 13, the 10-point plan, and realize that we don't have to be at the mercy of anyone to solve our problems. We don't have to really march to anyone to solve our problems, all we have to do is unite for God's sake. And stop acting as if when someone comes along that says, come, can I be with you? Can you be with me? Please stop acting as if they're trying to take your glory or take your thunder. We need to unite, all of us. And then we solve the problem ourselves. So let's just start with how I would share the things I would share. All right, number one, okay, my views on the current horrors we are experiencing and why they are escalating and why it's getting so terrible. I will give you a scripture on the solutions. I won't read the scripture, but I say please look it up and you will see how it fits what's going on today and how we can resolve it. Okay? All right, thank you. And all right. So number one, America has been frantically pushing to be or to stay the greatest power on earth. She has left behind so many of her family members to wallow in poverty while a select few dance in excess. It won't work. It didn't work. Two, her churches, who all profess to love everyone, leaving their close neighbors to gravely suffer, even if the neighbors live right next door. If you don't belong to the church, then no member, no see you. It won't work. It didn't work. Three, America saw her children being brutally murdered while she whispered a few words of sympathy sometimes, but did nothing more to nurture these families. She turned a blind eye to the millions in her belly who were screaming in agony that their loved ones were ripped from their lives. It won't work. It didn't work. Four, she passed by her homeless, knowing that she hadn't even supplied toilets or showers or any place for them to take care of their physical, human needs. She passed by them and turned a blind eye to their suffering as if it's okay to do it that way. Not caring if they had a bite to eat, not caring if they had shelter, not caring if they had even a place to put their waste. It won't work. It didn't work. Five, her politicians kept promising the world on a platter as long as they were running for office. Then, when elected, they retreated to their lofty offices to start playing the political games that excluded the people and forgot about the promises, leaving the people in worse conditions than they were before they voted them into office. It won't work. It didn't work. Six, she fooled her people into expecting that the lottery would fund our schools. Yet our children's schools were continuously spiraling down with depleting resources, sucking the power and the dreams out of education, sucking the benefit out of education, leaving equality out of education. It won't work. It didn't work. Seven, she stood by as the most vulnerable in her family were raped, abused, and many times mutilated, doing little or nothing to protect these babies. A billion screams, no, billions of screams of agony have gone unanswered by her powers that be. Victim after victim after victim suffer along with their cries unheard and unanswered. It won't work. It didn't work. Now for what will work. And these are just a few. I mean, I could sit here till tonight and talk to you just like that, giving you so many 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 50 conditions like this that we live with as if it's okay. And now we want to go back to our normal. We want to go back to leaving people homeless. We want to go back to crowded freeways with gas everywhere, leaking up to our ozone layers, putting this big gaping hole in it so that our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren will not have no air to breathe. We're not thinking about that. Let's just waste this right now. America is a leading country. And if we don't show the world that we have to stop this nonsense and restructure how we do things, then there's no way we're going to survive this pandemic. There's no way we're going to. So let's talk about solutions. All right. 1, look at Leviticus 19:9 through 10, and you will see if we can send $1,200 checks to all these millions of Americans and other residents of our country, then we can eradicate homelessness. We can eradicate this poverty line that's so low. It shouldn't even exist, this poverty line, in a country as rich as America. It shouldn't exist. There should never, ever be that kind of poverty in this country with so many resources. We can make sure our people are taken care of. As the spiritual instructions in Leviticus 19:9 through 10 tells us, we're supposed to leave a certain percentage of what we earn and what we do, and what we do, we are supposed to leave a percentage for the poor, not where they feel poor when they come get it, but they feel like we're coming to get our part of this harvest. That's what we're supposed to do. Those are the instructions that we're left that work. The rest of this doesn't work. Then we go to Proverbs 3:27 through 28, which shows us that the church in its lofty buildings, when countless times the neighbors who are close by them, starving many times. I mean, a church can be right here on the corner and a neighbor can be right next door starving. The church doesn't take care of that neighbor. Why? Because that neighbor is not a member. So I'm thankful that the churches are out of the buildings. The churches should be in the community. As my book says, before the pandemic happened, in the 10-point plan, there's a 10-point plan that my lone self designed that would work. And to get a group of people to make that plan work would work. Why are we so prideful that we want it to be our thing? If it ain't our thing, we don't support it, even though our thing is not solving the entire problem. It's like one little pocket. Our thing may be only helping the prisoners. Our thing may be only helping the pregnant mothers. Our thing may... No, that won't help our condition. That won't help us come out of this place. That won't help us heal. Stop, please, being so prideful that my idea shouldn't be honored because it didn't come from you. Come together, for God's sake, so that we can solve this incredible problem. The church must not just serve the membership. They must serve the community. And I think that's why God took them out of those buildings, just like he showed me in that 10-point plan it should be. The churches should come out of their lofty towers, out of their big, fine buildings, and they should be in that neighborhood around them, all around them. They should be knocking on every door, taking gifts of flowers and beautiful fragrances and beautiful love notes. No, not those lofty buildings contained for just your membership. And if you can entice them in to be in your membership, so wrong. 3, James 2:16 shows us that America must stop it right now, leaving her children vulnerable to abuse, neglect, and mayhem. These are our babies, for God's sake. We are obligated to protect them. Right now, while we are in the midst of change, let's make that shift. Let's put in place real protection. Let's protect our children. Come on. You know we can do this. You know there is no reason on earth our children are left so vulnerable when all of us adults are living. Now we have had less children than ever. So that means an adult can cover one child or help cover one child, and every child would be covered. Come on, we got to protect the young. We got to protect children. We got to teach our young by getting in there, not by thinking about it, not by it being a thought or prayer. Yes, let's pray, of course. But do something. Go out here. Please excuse me. I have a dysfunctional chair here, and that's what this is all about. So let's get me back up here a little bit, okay? Thank you. But anyway, so let's go to number 4, the homeless. Leviticus 25:35 through 36. Are we really going to pretend that it's not our responsibility to keep people from hitting the pavement like that? Homelessness is absurd atrocity. It's senseless. We're not supposed to let people get homeless. Our pandemic showed us one thing: America can run. It can operate without them buildings that we're crowding ourselves into, them luxury buildings. It could run this country without all that. Put the homeless in these buildings, luxury buildings. We're always wanting to give down to the homeless, as if we got to get on dirty clothes, we got to go on dirty streets where trash is to give them our contribution to their struggle. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That is no way to give to anyone. When God tells you to leave a percentage of your harvest to the poor, it's not so that the poor can come in there straggling like they ain't nobody. They come in there with pride and honor and dignity because they're coming in for their share of the harvest. You are legally obligated to leave them their percentage. Not that it's substandard like you try to do us. Like you try to do us when we don't have money. And you try to get us into stores that we buy cheap stuff because you got the money to buy the quality stuff. Even food. You get the organic stuff that won't have all the chemicals on it, and you leave us the stuff in our dollar amount. Are you kidding me? And you think you're going to prosper this way? Nobody prospers that way. You may get some dollars, and they won't fulfill. Ask Solomon. Solomon will tell you getting them dollars without honoring God's kingdom and his people and taking care of the poor won't give you fulfillment. You'll keep on dragging after it. You'll keep on running after it. You'll keep on pulling at it. Yes, you will. Because that's what he did till he left. He kept on trying to make that work, to the tune of I don't know how many wives, I don't know how much property, I don't know how many chariots. Meaningless. That's all he could say when it was done. Meaningless. That's what all that crap is. Meaningless. Until you take care of your poor. They are here forever and they're supposed to be. We are a whole. And without everything inclusive in that whole, then it's no whole. So of course the poor are going to be amongst us. But does that mean they're homeless? Never. Of course not. If you're rich, how can they be homeless? Stop the nonsense, for God's sake. All right. Isaiah 58, 6 through 11 shows us that politicians are our employees. Ask any CEO if he tolerates obstinance and disloyalty from his employees. Does he not get rid of them immediately? Ask Donald Trump when everybody wanted him to keep these people who were disloyal in his group. Don't let me say Donald Trump because everybody may turn off the thing. All I'm saying to you is no CEO is going to keep disloyal people in their lineage, in their employ. We don't need disloyal politicians in our employ. We make sure that you are going to do what you promised to do. We come on the front lines to make sure you do what you promised to do. We don't sit in our kitchens and complain about you not doing what you said you were going to do. We come to your offices and make sure you do what you promised you would do. What made me put your name on my important, valuable, big, gigantic vote? Our vote. Our vote. It's time to act like we have a vote. It's time to stop complaining and demand that everyone we employ, our politicians, do what they promise to do. Critically important. 6. Deuteronomy 15, 10 through 11. We know the promised funds to our schools from lottery proceeds were misappropriated. Come on now. You know it was. You know it was. You know it was. You know it was. Because if it wasn't, we would have some of the baddest schools you could imagine with all that money. Okay? It would be unbelievable what we would see in school systems. But we stand back and talk about that as if it's nothing we can do. We got mathematicians in our lineage that you won't believe, in all these constituents. There are mathematicians you can't believe. They think a number and they know what it means. That's how they were able to send the $12,000 stimulus to us, because mathematicians showed them how it would be a circular thing, that it would come right back into the economy and help the economy. That's mathematicians' work that made that happen. You understand me? We have mathematicians. You get them with the lottery people, and we get them to monitor what's going on and track where that money is going and demand that it goes to our schools. It's a good plan. It's a great plan. There are billions of dollars that pour into that lottery situation. Let's make sure it goes in the direction to do what it's supposed to do. And finally, the seventh thing that I'm addressing today. I'll come back with more, but don't forget Exacerbate from Victim to Killer, on sale in Amazon. Open the book. You can't see chapter 13, but I'm telling you, you will be amazed, and you would know that God was pulling my hand when I wrote chapter 13, because everything that he said he wanted me to do is being done today. The churches are being pulled out the buildings. The homeless are being taken off Skid Row, even though they didn't move them from Skid Row. They went to their plush areas and moved them. Governor Newsom, we'll talk. I'll be there. I'm coming. Because you will make me understand why not Skid Row. Mr. Blessing Game said if he had 50 people leave Skid Row area, he had one. Okay? What are you doing, Governor Newsom? Install real neighborhood watch, as Nehemiah 4:17 shows you. You have the sword in one hand and you have your gear in another one, and you go and you make these walls stand. You make these laws stand. Install real neighborhood watch throughout our nation where we all participate. Every able-bodied man and woman look out for each other. Bring light to our country. Evil must hide in darkness and unseen eyes. Open your eyes and watch out for your neighbors. Are you kidding me? When my son was murdered, if just one neighbor was watching out, my son would be here today with grandchildren and great-grandchildren for me. Stop this absolute madness. Stop it. Stop it. Stop being so freaking prideful. Join forces with one another. Help each other. I know I can't keep waking up to another mother on this thing screaming. How will I ever heal if every time I wake up there's another mother whose child been ripped from her life? Not just by policemen. So this is it for today. I will return. I do ask that you consider the book, look at it. You can't see chapter 13 unless you purchase the book, however. And if you purchase the hardback, which will be available on Amazon soon, I didn't want it there yet, but it will be available there, and you will get all kind of perks with that one. And it's $45, and the ebook is only $9.95. I think you should get it. I'm telling you, because we need to do solidarity work. We need to stop this nonsense. It doesn't work this way. And you can go on being prideful and think you can just stand off and act like, who am I to say whatever I'm saying? But hey, who am I not to say whatever I'm saying? I am God's child, and I'm a citizen of a free country. So yeah, I can say what I'm saying. So anyway, I thank you. My love goes out to everyone and all of your families. I pray for all of you that you are well and that your life is about to explode into grandeur and wonder and beauty as you bring those who are discriminated against, those who are left behind, those who we have left on sidewalks everywhere. Believe me, when you take care of them, you will be taking care of you. You cannot go into success and leave people behind like this. It absolutely does not work. It won't work. It didn't work. I thank you for being here with me, and I look forward to continuing on this road, especially as I get the equipment and the staff in to help me make this really, really excellent in technology also. And God bless you all. And please be safe. Even though all of this is going on right now, you are loved by your God. And this all has purpose if you will see it that way. If you would look in that direction, you would see the purpose. And you would know that God is about to deliver us into equality. He's about to do it. But we have to love each other first. So God bless you. And I look so forward to our journey moving forward. See you later.